Chapter 6. The door was smaller than most. A grown-up would have to stoop to fit through. But for Imogen, it was just the right height. She wondered what was on the other side. Perhaps the tree was a hiding place for treasure. The kind of treasure Mrs. H might forgot she'd got hidden. The moth crawled down the door and stopped at the keyhole. Imogen knelt next to it, grinding more soil into her jeans, and peeped through. All she could see on the other side was darkness. She pulled back. "Is this what you wanted to show me?" she asked. The moth folded back its wings and wriggled through the keyhole. "I think that's a yes," said Imogen. She stood up, put open the door, and stepped through. At first, it was very dark. Then, as Imogen's eyes adjusted, towering shapes swam out of the gloom. A few seconds later, she realized that they were trees. She was standing alone in a forest just before sunset. Branches shredded the low-lit sky into ribbons. Imogen's head filled with questions. How could the forest fit inside a tree? Why wasn't it raining here? How come it was so dark and quiet? It was as though the forest had been smothered by a giant duvet. Imogen looked back at the door and realized that she hadn't imagined the noises behind her. She really had been followed. There, just stepping over the threshold, was her sister. The light from the gardens shone round Mary. Her hair had turned dark in the rain. Her clothes were covered in mud, and her eyes were wide. She pushed the door closed behind her. The hinges must have been well oiled because it moved easily, clicking as it shut. The sisters' eyes met. "Mary!" cried Imogen. "What are you doing here?" For a split second, Mary looked afraid, caught off guard. But she quickly regained self-control. "What am I doing here?" she said. "I could ask you the same thing." "So it was you following me," said Imogen, folding her arms. "You are not allowed in the Haberdash Gardens." "Neither were you," said Imogen. "Can't you let me do anything on my own?" "I'm going to tell Grandma. You are doing trespassing." Imogen scowled. It was her moss, her garden, and her secret door. Mary hadn't even been invited. She had hijacked Imogen's adventure, and now she was threatening to destroy it. Imogen wanted to throw something at her sister. She wanted to pull her ponytail. No, she wanted to make her disappear. "Go on then. Go and cry to Grandma." "Fine, I will." Mary turned and grabbed the door handle. Then she glanced over her shoulder. "Well, what are you waiting for?" demanded Imogen. "It won't open," said Mary. "Move out of the way." Imogen tried the handle, but the door wouldn't budge. "Oh, well done," she shouted. "I didn't know it locked itself," squealed Mary. "You stupid baby. If you're not sure what something does, leave it alone." "You shouldn't have opened it in the first place," said Mary. "You should have stayed at home where you can't spoil everything." Imogen felt panic rising in her chest. She kicked the door and hammered with her fist, but it wouldn't open. The shadow moth she'd followed was nowhere to be seen.